best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. It's the start of the NFL season. Not many people thought we would get here. Oh, and you know what really sucks is, of course, the Giants don't play till Monday night. So, you know what, while it's good to have football back, it's like, it's almost like Christmas in my mind, because it's like, okay, everyone knows Christmas is December 25th, but let's say you couldn't open your presents to December 30th. Yikes. But you know what? We'll get through it. We're going to have some football this weekend, so that'll be fun. What I wanted to do today is just want to talk about my mind. How prepared are the New York Giants for the 2020 season? And on the screen, what I'm going to be doing now is I am the king of finding old Giant stuff. And I have a house full of old Giant stuff, and I got an attic full of old Giant stuff. And I found these prints. I'm going to show them on the screen. These prints came from old Shell. It was an old Shell gas station promotion. Shell Oil did this promotion. Some of these prints are going back to the 60s. And it was funny because, like I said, my father collected these, and of course, and in the 80s, and actually, some of these were from the 70s. Then I collected these as kids, and you store them away and you forget about them. I should probably get them framed because, like I said, they're not worth anything monetarily. I think they're more worth, just the memories that I had of collecting the prints, and the excitement of going to the gas station, and and filling up and getting the new print of the day. Or the week, but they're, like I said, I forget the artist's name, but like I said, I've had these. My father had these since the early '60s, and I've had these since the '70s. So I think they're kind of cool. And maybe what I'll do is I'll show a couple prints here and there of other things, of other Giants collectibles that I have. I got a quite an extensive collection. And you know what? I may also show some of my. Some of the stuff that I have from when I worked over at Tampa and Miami, so I got some kind of cool stuff from there too. But are the Giants ready for the 2020 season? And it's kind of an interesting and a loaded question, because I'm either going to get the haters that are like, oh, you just hate the Giants. You're just so negative. And then I'm going to get the people that are going to tell me, oh, you know what? You just think everything's all sunshine and roses. I have a great core of subscribers that I have to admit that are an even keel. And you guys know who you are because you leave fantastic comments and you send me fantastic emails. And while we may not agree on everything, you understand the nuances of football. And you know what? I appreciate you guys, and you are what keeps me doing this. Because there's been many days that I'm like, I'm just going to quit. I'm just not going to do this because I don't want to deal with the negativity sometimes. And, sometimes you read people's text messages and other things, and you're like, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand football. So you know what? I keep doing it for the core subscribers that really understand the game, really understand the Giants. And like I said, we do not agree at all on a lot of things. But you know what? I've said this before. Open debate makes for a better channel, and that's what we're trying to strive for. So are the Giants prepared for 2020? You know what? They are prepared probably better than many teams. And I'm not saying that they may be prepared physically better, but I think they have more of a mental fortitude of preparedness right now than a lot of teams in the NFL. I think Joe Judge, while I do not agree with some of his training methods, and while I do not agree with some of the drills, because I think they're very college-esque, and also some of them are very dangerous. You go into one-on-one drills, one-on-one tackling drills, that's a recipe for disaster. And then I love it when people are like, wow, he strapped tennis balls to the hands of the defensive back so they can't grab. Well, they've been doing that for years in college. So many teams actually practice with boxing gloves on to achieve the same effect. And I always laugh because I've said it a million times. To me, there are really no new inventive ideas in football, because everything has been done before and everything has been tried before. And so many people think they are the smartest guys in the room. And they're like, well, I'm going to run my offense like this. And it's like, well, you know what's funny? The Chargers in the 60s ran the same type of offense. It's how you tweak the nuances of something. You're not reinventing the wheel. I love it because people are like, well, you have this offense where we're going to line up 5 receivers and we're going to do this and this. And it's like, yeah, Mouse Davis was running this run and shoot for how many years ago? I mean, know your history. That's all I have to say. But I think the Giants are going to be more prepared mentally because I think Joe Judge was the right guy for this team for right now. He's got a lot of young guys. He's got a lot of young veterans. So he can push the rah-rah bullshit. He can push that this season. And it has been a proven fact that a college coach who comes in his first year with the college mentality usually doesn't always succeed, but will have a pretty good season. Saban had a pretty good first season in Miami. I mean, Greg Schiano had a pretty good first season in Miami, in Tampa. And I'm only using those 2 teams because I know them from working in the area. But but after that, if you don't adapt and overcome and change your philosophy, you kind of go downhill. You lose the locker room because your younger guys are getting older. Your younger veterans are becoming veterans, and not everyone wants to go through the rah-rah. Let's hit everybody. But that's just my opinion. But I think he will have this team prepared mentally because, like I said, there are a lot of young guys on this team. And young guys will respond, and I think they respond better than veterans to being pushed that way because they don't know any better. And once you get into the league for a couple years and people are like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no clue. I've seen it. Unless you work for an NFL team like I have or an AFL team like I have, tell me something different because I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. John Gruden was wearing out his welcome after the 2004 season. After, they won the Super Bowl, they had an okay 2003, 2004. The players were tuning him out. He was smart enough to adapt and turn around his behavior, and they started winning again. They did not reach the pinnacle of success like they did to the Super Bowl. Same with Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin lost the locker room in 2007 because, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late philosophy didn't work on a veteran team. And it wasn't until Strahan came around and said, hey, listen, you got to lighten up because these guys are professionals. Let's treat them like men. Same thing with Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells in 83 listened to everybody else. And he even said, I went 3-12-1 because I was listening to everybody else at that point in time. I mean, that's a problem. And then what happened was, what he did is in 84, he said, I'm going to do things my way. If they're going to fire me, I'm going to be Bill Parcells. I'm going to teach this team and do it the way I see fit. And he turned around and it was a huge success. I mean, so what I'm saying is I think Judge, like I said, is the perfect guy for this team because I think he's going to get them up to play. I think he's going to get them up to play hard. I think that even when we are not being competitive, I think we're not going to quit. And that's just my philosophy. Now, my thing is also, if you look at the roster, I mean, we're not loaded with talent this year. I mean, when your starting receivers are Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, and Darius Slayton, yeah, that's a good group. But Golden Tate's in his 30s, Darius is a second-year guy, and Sterling Shepard's 1 concussion away from being out of the league. Then your tight end is your starting tight end is Evan Ingram. Yeah, that's great and all, but is he going to stay healthy more than 7 games? So, and then like I said, outside of Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, that's your offense. And you have to hope to God that the line holds up and doesn't leak like a boat. That's for you, Jersey Mike. Stay on the water. So you hope they don't sink. We do have some talent on the defensive line, like in players like in Blake Martinez and Dexter Lawrence and I'll even say Leonard Williams and James Bradbury, but you also have a lot of question marks. Is Peppers, Peppers didn't look great at times last year. Love is going to have to be counted on for a full season or he's going to be replaced by Logan Ryan. Corey Ballentine, we don't know what we're going to get. O'Shane Zimenez is going to go into, his second season and we're hoping for a big jump. Devontae Downs, he's never really started. We're going to have to count on him to be one of the starting linebackers. Dalvin Tomlinson's solid, but like I said, we do not have a plethora of of talent. We have mixed talent, and and I think it's funny because Joe Judge and the coaching staffs have said it many times before. We have to play a situational defense, and we have to play to our players' strengths. And some guys may start one week, and some guys may not start the next week. And that's because they know they have so much mishmash of talent that you're not sure what you're going to get from week to week. So you know what? That is, self-awareness is a huge thing. And for Judge and his staff to have self-awareness about this team, that's one of the things that I am excited about for the season. Because like I said, I think they're not going to play into egos. I think they're going to play to their team's strengths. And I think what's going to happen is, like anything else, if you play to your team's strengths and you're not worried about offending people, you can be successful. Now the problem is, once these guys become veterans always get offended. Not all, I shouldn't say always, but a lot of veterans get offended if you bench them, if you take them out of situations. It's because of the fact that they're competitors. You've been on the field. I never played at the professional level, but I played at the collegiate level and high school level, and I know when I got benched, I wasn't happy. I got benched in my senior year in high school, and I wasn't happy. But I didn't sit. I did sulk. I did sulk. I'm not gonna lie. But I started the next game. But you know what? It's just one of those things that that you could do this with a young team. You could have. And there's actually two ways you could do this. You could do this with a young team. You could do it with a veteran team that buys in, that wins. If you're a veteran team that buys in and you don't win, then you're going to have a revolt. And we've seen locker room revolts in football, baseball, basketball. But like I said, I think Joe Judge probably has this team prepared better than any of the most recent Giant teams have been prepared to play. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see what comes out on the field. And I'm excited to see how we are going to progress going into the 2020 season. And I think, like I said, we'll do a full probably breakout show on Sunday about the Giants, and then we'll do an update show on the Monday. But like I said, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be fun, it's going to be different, and we're just going to kind of go from there. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you can ring that bell, I think you know what that means. That'd be awesome.